Nacht Der Untoten is the birthplace of the zombies game mode we either all love or hate today. The same zombies you see on screen right now. Yeah. Love it or hate it, I think we can all agree that zombies is one of the best things to ever come out of Call of Duty, and it all started with such a simple map. A map that was originally just an Easter egg, a small bonus mode you unlocked after finishing the World at War campaign. Yet somehow, that little Easter egg turned into one of the most iconic game modes in Call of Duty history and produced a ginormous and beautiful storyline. And out of all of the maps that came after, across 17 years of zombies content, I still believe Nacht Der Untoten is the creepiest of them all. Just knowing even a bit of the story or lore adds to the map's unsettling feeling. The story is actually quite simple. An American plane malfunctions and crash lands near a German airfield. At the same time, German trucks transporting Element 115 between Group 935 facilities were struck in the crash. The four Marines who survive are met with an endless horde of the undead, and they take shelter in an abandoned structure nearby. No matter how hard they fight, they're eventually overwhelmed and killed. What's tragic is that the people we play as never intended to be fighting zombies in the first place. Hell, to my knowledge, they had no idea this kind of threat even existed yet. They weren't sent out by the American government on some mission to this location. They were just soldiers who got caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. That alone adds a tragic, almost hopeless feeling to the map. These men weren't heroes like Primus or Ultimus. They were just survivors, fighting for their lives in a situation they could never have imagined. Another aspect that adds to the map is thinking about the bigger Ether storyline while playing. Were those trucks carrying Element 115 to Derice? Did Richthofen or Maxis order the transport between Group 935 facilities? It's really fascinating to think about, making these connections that link Nacht to a massive story that would unfold over years. So next time you play classic World at War Nacht, think about the story. It really adds another layer of depth to the experience. The atmosphere of Nacht Der Untoten is unmatched. The map has a very unique ambience that isn't really present in any other zombies map. The sound of the wind outside, creaking metal, and the barricades being torn down makes the map utterly creepy. And most of the time, those sounds are accompanied by the distant cries of the hordes. The screams that can be heard echoing throughout the area are terrifying. If there aren't any zombies currently invading the structure, the sounds that echo through the endless fog are sure to remind you that you are not alone. Trying to even look out the barricaded windows fills you with an immediate sense of isolation. A thick layer of fog surrounds the entire structure and the surrounding area. Not a single ounce of civilization is in sight. You are alone, and you are helpless. The mystery of what lurks behind the fog fuels the creepiness within the map. It emphasizes the fact that you are trapped within a cold, concrete tomb with no means of escape and no hope of being rescued. When you glance outside, the only things you can see appear out of the fog are silhouettes of the endless horde, only being lit by the bright full moon that engulfs the sky. The few areas of the map that aren't lit by moonlight are barely visible. They are lit by small lamps and lights within the structure that add to its eerie nature. But while most of the map is flooded with the light of the moon, it still feels lifeless and depressing, almost as though the map itself is dead. To sell that tone, the map is given a very unique color palette, cold grays and washed out blues. It's very dull and empty of color, like life has been drained from the map. All of those aspects reinforce the idea of total isolation and no hope of survival. One of the most defining features about Nacht Der Untoten is its complete lack of firepower. Like most zombies maps, you spawn in with a pistol and a very low ammo count. When you burn through all of your ammo from your pistol, the only options you have left to acquire weapons from are wall buys and the mystery box. And sure, you might get lucky and pull the ray gun, but after around round 22 or so, even that starts to fall off. There's not even a pack-a-punch on the map. Granted, the pack-a-punch was only introduced on Derice, the final map for World at War, but if it was on Nacht Der Untoten, perhaps the firepower problem wouldn't be as much of a problem. And that's just the problem with the weapons. Alongside the lack of good firepower, there are no perks, no jug, no speed, no double tap, and no quick revive. Nothing. If you get hit twice, you're dead. You reload at the wrong time, you're dead. You go around a corner you think is empty. Spoiler alert, it's not, you're dead. Noct forces you to play perfectly, because there is absolutely nothing to fall back on. It is a very punishing map. A major reason for most deaths in Nacht Der Untoten is simply because of how small the map is. The map is extremely tight, and it makes it feel almost claustrophobic. The map layout is made up of just 2 floors and a couple of rooms. On the first floor is the spawn room and the mystery box room. On the second floor, they're just referred to as the upstairs rooms. There's nothing particularly special about the upstairs rooms. I mean, one contains a pretty unique wall by, and the other just has a nice view of the outside world, and also where most people experience their final stands. And unlike most zombies maps today, training is quite the challenge. There's almost no room to train safely. It is still possible, but the little space provided doesn't leave much room for error. One small mistake could lead to a death, especially with how the World at War zombie AI is. These zombies can actually grab you and pull you towards them, making it somewhat scary because of the game's 2-hit down system. So overall, the map is rather suffocating, giving a sense of feeling trapped the moment you load in. At the end of the day, Nacht Der Untoten isn't scary because of jump scares or loud music or some scripted horror gimmick. It's scary because of how raw it is. The game doesn't hold your hand. In fact, it throws you straight into the map after completing the campaign. No setup, no explanation. You're just dropped into a silent, broken building surrounded by fog, given a pistol with barely any ammo, and told to survive. That's it. Now, modern zombies maps are incredible in their own way, with Easter eggs, boss fights, wonder weapons, and all that good stuff, but Noct is pure survival horror. There's no side Easter eggs to set you up for a high round, and there's no Easter eggs to even escape the map alive. You're not meant to win. You're meant to delay the inevitable for as long as you can. And I think that's why Nacht Der Untoten is still the creepiest zombies map of all time. It's not just a map, it's a feeling. A feeling of helplessness, of isolation, of knowing that no matter how hard you fight, you're not making it out alive. That feeling, alongside everything we've covered, scared me when I was about 4 or 5 years old. I used to religiously play Noct with my older brother because we didn't have the other maps on World at War, so we were stuck playing Noct. In fact, we wouldn't even play it alone. We always had to play on the map together because of how spooky it was, and still is. It's a feeling that will never go away. Perhaps because of how scared I was back then, it stuck with me to today, and that's why I wholeheartedly believe it's the creepiest zombies map of all time. If you managed to make it to this part of the video, it would be greatly appreciated if you guys could like the video and possibly subscribe. It would mean the world to me, as I am extremely passionate about Call of Duty Zombies. I've been playing since such a young age, and being able to make zombies content for people would honestly be the best thing in the world to me. Thank you for watching.